welcome to Season 2 of the Evolv podcast.
In this new season, you're going to see upgraded equipment and guests that are going to be joining us on themes of business, self-development, health and fitness coaching, and our journey from start to finish.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of this podcast.
Peace.
Oh my God, you fucking ruined it. See, that's why I don't clap.
Let's just do it one more time.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I'll do it with H. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, mental. Straight away.
Called it. And
Welcome.
we're on with the Big Brewy.
Welcome to the Evolv podcast with Brendon and Rianon. Today, we have a special guest named
Brewfit.
Brewfit.
Thank you for having
That's
me.
his business name.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Excited to be here, you know.
I think this has been a very anticipated podcast
I'm
because
really, really excited for this one. To be
this has been the podcast we've always talked about doing because it's 3 PTs sitting in a room. They might kiss, but
Maybe after.
it's a meme. It's a meme. But
Do PTs kiss?
apparently, but
the
welcome,
last one.
Brewfit.
I even got clapping as well.
We're still getting used to this new system.
We're having fun with the buttons.
Wait. Oh, wrong one.
All right. There's a whole bunch of buttons that we can press. But first of all, welcome. Now, Age, it's been a crazy time. I've met you in the recent years and you've become one of my best mates. You've known this guy for the longest.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, I've known him for 20 years.
So the same time as
Yeah.
me and Jono, which
Yeah.
is crazy. But how did you meet him and how did you meet me?
Man, I'm very good at keeping long-term relationships.
You are.
You just have that gravitas about you. Like everyone just gets drawn to you. Maybe it's just because they're just dumbfounded by you. You know, you're just such an
Wow,
you're an
what
enigma.
a unique human.
Yeah, you're just an enigma, bro. You're just like, who is this human?
Now,
I never seem to amaze.
give everyone a bit of an introduction to yourself, who you are, what you do, and go from there.
So my name is Adrian. I am a personal trainer of 5 years at this point, dating the podcast now. So 5 years PT, sorry. Been around the block a little bit. Started doing mobile personal training at
I like that one.
at a company where I think I get the credit for starting Brendon's love for
Mobile personal training.
mobile personal training.
You
to
Wow,
be
there
did,
you go.
you did. That's
So-
what started my journey.
Yeah, but started in 2020, around there, 2019. Yeah, so it's been a journey to be honest, but it's been a roller coaster of highs and lows. But that's the job, innit? So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a roller coaster of a job.
you can definitely say that. It's apart from the first job of mobile personal training. After that, I went into gyms, and it was essentially me running my own business, not knowing how to run my own business because.
So you went in balls deep.
You
Yeah,
went in deep
essentially.
really fast. I reckon.
Essentially, like it's just unfortunately with the certificates that you learn in TAFE and stuff like that, they don't teach you how to run the business. They just teach you all this rubbish about the human body. I mean, look, obviously you need that, but it's not like the business
essentials.
part. They teach you essentially to be a NPC PT. You know, you're just like, oh yeah, this does
This is
your,
how you
this
run
works
a
your.
program. This is the muscle that you use for
Exactly right.
a bench press.
But then they don't go, oh, how are you gonna market yourself, or how do you
How you gonna do
how do you get
sales on the gym
leads?
floor?
Exactly
Yeah.
right. So
That's a big credit to you though, because when we started, you actually got me my first job as a mobile PT working for a company, and they basically did all the sales, they did all the marketing, they did all the finance for us. All we had to do was be PTs.
yeah, exactly right.
Be that NPC PT that just rocked up to sessions and ran them through a 45-minute session.
Well, yeah, when
Basically,
I first,
what Dynamic Recov does.
Yeah, essentially. Like when I first started, when I got my certificates, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get into the realm of gyms. I actually had no plan to actually get into gyms at all. You know, I was like, mobile personal training sounds amazing. You know, you get to just go to the parks all day sort of thing. But then as I got on, I was like, you sort of get capped doing that job because it's just like, for me, it was just like, I needed more. And you're doing a lot of driving, man. I'm like, I was basically doing a 9 to 5 worth of, I was in traffic at peak hour each time. And it was just annoying. And then I was like, you know
throwing
what?
shit on me and Ray because we still do that.
You guys do it better though. I feel like I was just, I think I did it the worst. I was taking clients in Bankstown
Were
and
you
I was
now
ending in 5 dock, like I'd just be catching
A
every
big map.
single red
See,
light, man.
Ray still does that.
We do it well though, because now we can listen to each other on a podcast.
So, but yeah, so then I essentially just took that job as me just learning people.
That's a bit of PT.
Yeah, people and training and stuff like that, and just trying to understand the actual job and not the business, that back end side of it.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Fitness First, and I decided to just give it a crack. It was definitely a rough first couple of months because I was like,
I do
have
remember
no
that.
idea what the fuck I'm doing.
I remember you telling me all the time that it was a struggle street to
Yeah.
learn how to sell, learn how to get leads.
Yeah, it was more the cold approach, because I wasn't really experienced in that thing, because it was just like, you have to try to obviously generate leads to get clients, and then obviously from the previous job I was just getting leads without trying. So it's like I just had to train the people. But now the best way to learn for me was just to get into the deep end sort of thing, and it might take me a while, but eventually I will get there, and it's just...
And you did that at 20 years old as well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. It took me a while to actually find my flow at that gym, because I felt like I wasn't really the stereotypical PT at that gym. I'm not going to say where it was or whatever, but it's, I feel like I was just sort of the odd PT out sort of thing, right? So I just felt like it was a lot
You
more
went
harder.
on gear.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, essentially, because you couldn't find any needles anyway. Honestly, But if I did, then I would have been in for sure.
Do you feel throwing yourself in the deep end like that so early on into your career? What benefits did you get out of it? Throwing yourself in so deep, so quick, so early.
You learn. It's like you get thrown into the forest on your own. You got to it's sink or swim.
Yep.
Like you've got to try to adapt, sort of thing, right? So part of that is, learning everything. You're trying to research stuff. You then look at people who've done it before you, or you then you aspire to people and you learn this, and that. So obviously with that, you make your own mistakes and stuff like that, but it's more just, you learn all that your own way. And then everyone does it differently. Like there's some PTs, and I know for a fact I can literally just go straight to someone on a treadmill going, hey, you come train with me, or X and Y, whatever it is, right? For me, I just hated that part. Yeah, it's that resilience part. I couldn't do it. I just hated that, because I know when I'm training, the last thing I want to do is get approached by someone. So I'm like, imagine on my side trying to approach someone.
You would hate it happening to you. So you're like, how can I do it to someone else if I hate it myself?
Yeah. So essentially what the approach that I found that I was taking was just building rapport with people slowly, and then using that to then get them as a client. And then with that, because I've got such good rapport with them already, they end up turning into longer
term clients.
Exactly right. Because then they're not just, they can tell that I'm not there for just to get their money or whatever it is. It's actually, I just want to train them, and I get along with them. I wouldn't
actually care.
I wouldn't offer it to someone when I don't have rapport, because then I don't know who they are. And it's just a thing. If I don't get along with you, my job is hell.
How did you discover that? How did you discover that was something that you needed to do?
In what regard?
How did you know that rapport building was going to grow your industry?
It wasn't really a thing where
grow
I knew
place.
I had to do it. It was just more of a thing that, for example,
That's
did
the
it.
approach.
one thing at Fitness First is I had to do classes. So with that, then I was getting exposed to a lot of people for that 30 minutes or 45 minutes, right? But then it'll be the same people. And then I was building rapport, and then I was getting to know them. They were getting to know me. And then eventually I ended up converting a lot of those people from the classes as ongoing clients. Like some of them are even still... some of them are even still trained to this day, and that's 3-4 years ago, when that originally happened. So it's just, and I felt like that was just the best way for me to open up, because it was just more.
Less sales pressure.
Yeah, so it's just, again, it's you can everyone can tell when someone's trying to sell something. So I'm like, and our job.
When you walk up to someone on a treadmill, that's exactly what you're being approached to.
Oh my god, I
do.
actually hate when I'm at the gym. I've been approached by a few PTs at Fitness First in Sylvania, and I just don't. I feel weirded out, because I'm just here to train. I don't really want to talk to anyone, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So
100%.
I would hate to be that guy.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
I think what he was saying about the group training aspect,
I don't go on a group training tangent, please.
it's going to take 5 minutes, so just bear with me, all right? Because this is the thing, right? There's different personal trainers like yourself.
Here you go. Yeah, that's mental, you know.
That's a bit crazy. That's a bit crazy.
Wow.
Cool. Hey, wait till you start talking.
He will cut
I
you
can
off.
press some fucking buttons too.
Read deeper. He will cut you off to then play that sound, you know.
You know what? That's fine.
Mental
That's
from
fine.
you, you know.
What I'm going to back up his comment with is group training definitely for different PTs, it's different. For yourself as a PT, I think this is for any PT listening. Your journey is all dependent on how you want to make it or how your confidence starts. You as a personal trainer in the very beginning, you had self-confidence in yourself and what your knowledge base was to continue with what you were doing. For instance, myself, I had no confidence. I had no personality. I had no drive. I had no sales concept of anything, but my sales was me. My personality in a group session was me. Then I had people approach me, similar to you, in a group setting, where it was like, okay, I like your vibe. Because you can do this with all these people.
It's easier to do it one-on-one.
I'm more interested in what one-on-one has to offer, because if you're able to do it for 20 people, imagine if you put all that energy that you put for 20 people into one, bang. People like that.
I've always had respect for both of you to be able to run group classes. You're doing it at Fitness First. You've been doing it at multiple types of gyms. I don't see myself having the confidence to be able to keep 20 people engaged at one time. I've always been a one-on-one PT, and I can potentially do it. I just haven't had the passion or the drive to actually go out there and just run a full class.
It's something different for sure, but I'm, you know, you, especially you, because I feel like we only just started becoming friends around that time sort of thing, or just before that. But you know that I'm usually a pretty shy guy, or back then I was anyway. So imagine me then doing the complete opposite. So it was like, I knew that I sort of had to just flip it on its head. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to be just loud. I want people across the gym to hear me instruct in the class. So I'd amplify my voice sort of thing, and I just do my thing. Most of the time,
That was my switch as well.
Yeah, most of the time I realize is that I'm doing it on autopilot. Like, as in, like, I'm not like, okay, I need to be loud, but then it just comes naturally, and I'm just loud to them, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just making sure that everyone's doing their own thing, like doing the right thing, checking the form, X and Y, and then checking the time of before they rotate, whatever. But all of it was like the voice and the personality like that. I think it just sort of came from me just wanting to do my job well. So,
yeah, for someone going into the fitness industry for the first time, what would be some top tips to look out for when it comes to starting a personal training job or personal training journey?
it is not a side job. It is not. If people watching this think that it's a side job, then go find something else, because it's really not. The amount of people that used to talk shit or used to give me shit for this job is like, oh, all you do is count to 10 and X and Y. Look, fair enough. Funnily, yeah, fair enough. I do count to 10 a lot, and sometimes I even fuck that up, you know? However,
my counting is shit.
yeah. However, it is not a side job. You have to be there. Even if you might have only 2 clients that day, you're at the gym training. You're at the gym just showing your face. It's probably one of the more mentally fatiguing jobs out there. Like, fair enough, you have your tradies, physically laborious jobs, fair enough. But mentally, this job and socially takes a big toll. So you have to be prepared for that.
If you don't have that social battery, you can actually get drained really, really fast.
100%.
But I would say that PTs have like a really massive social battery.
Yeah,
When you look at us three, like...
Yeah, I mean, you definitely build the tolerance up for sure. But like, I remember there'd come a point when, after doing 5 days worth, and like 5 days in a row, like early mornings, 5 a.m.s, whatever it is, right? By the time it's Friday night and you want to enjoy your weekend, you're so drained that the last thing you want to do is go see people, even your mates. You know what I mean? It's just like, you want to go see your mates and stuff like that, but then it comes to a point when it's just like, I'm so tired. I don't want to.
You need some you time, especially with personal training. It's a very mentally draining job. You're talking to a lot of people, trying to help them out on their journey and get them fit and healthy and feeling good, and you forget that there's a lot of mental fatigue behind it, because you're putting a lot of your own energy into these people. There's some trainers that...
But I find it so weird, because I'm like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And you guys both know this. I actually get more energy being around my mates and being in more social settings. So
That's true.
outside of my gym, like my PT job, and feeling drained from all the interactions I had. When I'm like with my mates, I feel like I actually get more of a boost.
It really comes down to the personality type. Like if because you're extremely extroverted, like you really, and you know that you are. It's a good thing. So it's like you radiate on people's energy. When you're not, I'm more of an introvert. I'm starting to get into the extroverted space for sure, but even back then I was just so introverted. Like it's just you then got to put on a little bit of a facade. The people that you're training, they only see you. Let's just say one session a week. They only see you for 45 minutes or an hour a week, whatever it is. And then they don't see you till the next week. You have to be switched on for that 45 minutes to an hour. If the clients detect that you're sad or you're angry or you're in the doghouse,
That's
or
their time that
exactly
you're
right.
devaluing.
They're paying you for the time, right? So you got to be switched on. You don't talk to you don't. What I learned from being at that Fitness First was you have to make it all about them, which is fine. It's still to this day, it's still a good mentality.
Yeah.
However, you can't hold on that facade for long. People would start to see through the cracks,
I think that's a very important thing to consider, because your approach to personal... This is the thing. There's so many different approaches to personal training, and you have to make it suit you as a person, because you have a very different approach. You're a very open, bubbly, out there person, and when it comes to the training, you know your stuff. People love your sessions, and you're in and out. But your in and out is so, impactful. It impacts the person in a 45-minute session, maybe close to an hour session of you chatting with them and having a conversation with them in between sessions, that you've been able to hold relationships for 3+ years. Mm. You as a person, you as a trainer, your personality is, and this is why one of the reasons why we're friends, is your personality is real. All our personalities are real, and I feel that's why...
Are you calling me fake?
I just said all our personalities. You cut in at the wrong time there, mate. So, unfortunately...
Yeah, play the sound. He deserves
it. Yep, there you go, mate. That one's for you.
Can we send him to like the naughty corner or something, or what's going on?
Yeah,
Just mute my microphone.
Just shut
there you
it
go.
down for a bit.
Cool. Me and Adrian will talk now.
That's mine. Even I know that's mine.
But now I think that's one of the reasons why I drew to you when we first obviously met.
To him?
Huh?
Did you draw to him?
Well, to be fair,
I drew a drawing and I gave it to him and I said, "There you go."
To be fair, I don't know if you want to go into it about how you and I actually met.
We can. I don't care. Adrian and I met on the train. We met on the train.
No.
Well, let's talk
wait
about
a minute. I'm getting into the
it.
juicy part. But me and Adrian met on a train. Jonathan was like, one of my mates. He was like, "Let's go to a park." I don't know why I keep calling you Jonathan. Anyway, he was like, "All right, let's go. We're going to the Ivy. Let's go." Hopped on a train and there's Adrian and I've gone, "Dude, mate, what's going on?" Met each other, chatted. All of a sudden, turn around, hooking up with my ex.
Hold on, just in case you guys didn't hear that, I was getting with his ex, because I think he muffled that a little bit. I want people.
He tried to skip over that one.
Anyway,
it's like
we brushed past that, and I think the one thing that I respected the most was that he messaged me and said, "Hey, bro, I'm really sorry. This is what happened X, Y, Z." And I said, "It's all good. It's in the past."
To be fair on him, I had only told him that it was your ex just before he got with it.
No, I actually didn't know until afterwards. Let's
clarify.
Let's just clarify. Because I found out afterwards.
You found out after.
And then I was like,
it was definitely
because
after.
he came up to me after and he was like, "Ree, I didn't even know, blah, blah, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "You're sticking around, mate. You're a good bloke." Because that was when I first started to recognize what real people were and who real people were. And especially in the personal training industry, you can come across some characters.
Fake people.
Some fake people and some characters. And especially when you're working with a personal trainer like you and with yourself, that was the one thing that I harped towards because it was just so real. I think that the emphasis of it being real was so good.
And it was so real.
Yeah.
And it was so real. And, Anyway, I'll stop talking about you.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you another question
Go for it.
because I've been meaning to ask this one. When it comes to balance and personal training life and balancing your social life, what has been the one thing that you've done to always prioritize yourself as well as your family and your friends and all that other stuff in your life?
That's a good
and work?
question, to be fair. You know what? It's a thing where I only hang out with certain people. I don't have an extensive circle anymore. I've cut it down. I can literally count it on two hands. Like it's just, and that's like close people, you know. Before it was more like going out anywhere and everywhere, going out, like going, you know, clubbing, whatever it is, X and Y. It's more socially draining. Whereas I just want to be around people that know me for me, and where I can just, even if I'm a little bit on the lower battery side, I'm still gonna have a good time because you guys are just gonna bring me up.
Yeah.
And it's not like I have to impress people or again put on a facade where I'm like, yeah, everything's all fine and dandy.
You're just being you.
Yeah, exactly right. So that helps with having that balance, but it's also making sure I give myself some time during the week as well. Like I cut my hours a little bit here and there if I feel like the way I've structured my calendar, I do big blocks and then I take a little bit of time off. Like I'll take a morning off and then I'll go hard in the afternoon, like that sort of thing. And then at least then I feel like I'm still working well that day, and it's not like a thing where I'm drained. Because the thing is that kills, especially me anyway, maybe some other PTs as well, is that massive block in between the morning and the afternoon sessions. Like absolutely.
The middle block.
Yeah, because then you can't really switch off. Because it's like you want to relax, but then you got to go back to work, and then it's like you want to watch a series or something like that, or you want to watch a movie, you want to have a nap, whatever it is, and then you wake up and you're all groggy, and you're like, shit, I've got to go back to work. So it's like, and then even then, once you finish the afternoon, you're then still such high energy from training all those people to like 8 at night or whatever it is, and then you got to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day. Guess what? You're in bed by 9:30. So you literally, there was a point at Fitness First when I was finishing my last session, I'd get home, I'd quickly eat, and then I'd maybe have a quick shower if I literally had the time, and then I'd go straight to bed because I had to be up at 4 o'clock. And then it's just like you don't really get to switch off because you don't have enough time to unwind, you know. So it's, yeah, like I said, it's a very fatiguing thing. So it's just trying to make that balance, giving yourself some time off to go, okay, I can sleep in tomorrow. That's good.
That is true.
So I'd rather the sessions that I have be higher quality than just try to smash out as many sessions as possible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you know, we're still working on it anyway. It's still, the balance is still got to be worked out, but we're trying different things. So
I feel like you can never actually have full balance in a way.
Yeah.
It's pretty much impossible to create balance, even though everyone glorifies achieving balance, creating balance. But I feel like there is a way to create balance as much as possible whenever you can, or optimizing your schedule.
you know what, Brendon, you're 100% right. It's, you know what? That's it. You're actually 100% right. Because you know what it is, but I have a very prominent theory in my head that you can't balance everything. It's balancing like work and relaxation is different. I'm saying like balancing different projects. It's so hard. Like if you want to push your business, the other things have to take a step back. If you want to push your training or your fitness or whatever it is, you're not going to be as prominent, or your eating even, you're not going to be as good at your business. No one can give everything 100%. It's just impossible. So, but then it's like, what do you balance out? Would you rather go 50% on your business and then 50% on training, or whatever it is? It's so hard to find that balance. Like that's why when I finished my competition, I took a whole month off training to then build my business back up. So I was on 0 on training and I was 100 on business.
Yeah.
And that month was a good month for business.
Yeah.
But then I missed training. And then when I went back to training, the business took a little tiny bit of a dip in terms of like I wasn't paying as much attention to it and being as proactive on it. But then
it's like your own stock chart. Like you're watching these two
100%.
graphs just go up and down, and
that's exactly
one takes
how
over the other. And
in my head, that's exactly how I picture
Yeah.
it. It's literally,
it's
A
heavy
stock chart.
because, like, for instance, now with personal trainers, they harp onto one category, we'll call it a niche, and they completely focus their whole soul onto it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that balance side of things, they don't know how to replicate one with the other, and they can't find the balance in between it, because then it goes, oh my god, there you go. There's a good sunset for you, golden hour for you,
golden
baby.
hour. baby.
It's probably doing well for my face. I think it's like it's getting to that side, but I need the camera on this side.
Now, to go back into your competition and your type of training, now you've found your niche. You've gone into a niche of powerlifting. You are currently Brendon's coach. And he calls you coach all the time. He goes, Coach Age.
He definitely does.
He is my coach.
How did you find that niche, and how did you come across that?
To get into that, I sort of have to give a little brief intro of how I actually
Go for
got
it,
into
mate.
training. So
Can I just say, strongest skinny guy I know.
it's true. It's my motto. It's not my motto. It's my tagline. You know, it's my personality.
It's his ting,
It's
you know?
exactly right. You know, I'm probably gonna get a T-shirt made of the strongest skinny guy. You know?
We're in different powerlifting comps now.
But yeah, so me and Brendon actually, he got me into fitness, to training. So I guess we owe each other. There we go. So I got you the job, you got me into the gym. There you go.
It's like,
But yeah, so we started our first gym together down at Fitness Local.
Fitness Local and
I had to get my mum to come sign us up
Oh,
because we're too
that
young.
was the best.
Anyway, so then we did
15-year-old
that,
us.
and I was just following Brendon, and Brendon was just making every single mistake, ego lifting and all that stuff. That's why his shoulder got messed up.
Broke
and all
my
that.
shoulder.
Yeah. Anyway, and then it was on and off throughout school, because we were like 15 at the time when we started, until like 18. And then I finished school. I took it a lot more seriously. I was going 6 days a week. And then I was like, my mum was like, I was at uni at the time, and mum was like, you got to try to find something to do, like as a career. So when I was at uni, I actually left uni, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna take I left after half the year. The other half the year I took as a gap year, and I just focused on my training. It then came to the conversation again, was like, what do you want to do? Then I go, all right, I'm gonna do fitness. Anyway, fast forward, throughout that whole time I was training bodybuilding style, like, you know, push pull legs, or even just doing bro split, whatever it was, right? So I was just training to get bigger. And as the camera can clearly see, I'm not the biggest guy. Just my bone structure just wouldn't allow me to, right?
Yeah.
So it came to a point when I was surpassing people's weights that they could lift, and I was half the size. Like, I would actually say it to clients, sort of thing. I was just like, they go, oh, how do I get big like him? And I was like, it's a lot of genetic, and obviously if they're on PEDs or whatever it is, that's a different discussion. But it's like, I'm like a little thing. It's not really, I wasn't trying to brag, but it's more just like, I can probably lift more than them, and you wouldn't think it just based on my appearance.
Yeah.
So I knew that I wasn't going to get massive. So I was like, you know what, I enjoyed lifting heavy weights because of that thing of like, holy shit, how can you do that?
That kick.
Exactly. That was a good stimulus for me. And I was like, and then I was training at Fitness First, and then I was talking to a girl who was doing powerlifting, and she's like, you should try it. And I was like, okay. And then she recommended me a coach, and then I sort of just fell in love from there. You know, it's a lot of different. There's a different style of training for sure. It's a lot more technique based, but the feeling of lifting like just stupendous amounts of weight to me means more than just going for a pump on a chest pump. You know, so yeah. And then basically since then I've just been going at it with powerlifting competitions, trying to compete as much as I can. And so that goes there. I think I feel like I went on a bit of a tangent just there. I was like, I can't lie.
No, that's good. That's what I want to hear, because we obviously started our journey because I was obsessed with Ziz. You know, I've even got a tattoo of him on my chest right now.
Yeah,
Not of him.
it's not actually
but-
of Zeus.
But a quote
It's
a quote
of-
that relates to that period of my
That's
life.
that's under his undies. That's where he's got the actual face.
Anyways, so I got into the gym, or my purpose or reason for starting the gym at 15, and obviously influencing you to start with me, was I just wanted to get big. I wanted to get shredded so I could get girls. That was my whole reason for starting. Then I got into ego lifting. I broke my shoulder, and I started getting all these injuries. And that's when the injuries started spiraling.
Wait, you broke it? I thought you just. Did you
It
break
was
it?
a slight tear.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it was broken.
I broke it.
Bro, yeah, bro's trying to exaggerate for the pod.
I broke a tendon, right?
Okay.
Anyway, so I learned very early on. It would have been like 16, around the time that I actually tore my shoulder, to be clear on that, that me going to the gym to get girls or get shredded was not something you can actually stick to for a long enough period of time, because there was going to come a point where maybe I wasn't successful with women or not successful with girls, that my physique wasn't really going to get me to that stage. And I was like, you know what? I actually love lifting heavy weight. I love going in the leg press and, you know, stacking it up and, you know, just benching and doing the bodybuilding workouts that I was doing at the time. And me and you were going in a pretty linear path, just in different directions. You were doing more of your strength training, and you started doing that pretty early on. But for me, it was always a 10 to 12 reps, you know, start carb loading. I was going to the gym early in the mornings. So pretty early on, we kind of went into our niches without even realizing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was just always funny because I remember full well one time we trained at Blakehurst Anytime. Shout out to Anytime, by the way. And then we did dumbbell chest press, and I was like, at that point, that was my first real exposure to lifting heavy, because I was like, we're doing dumbbells, and then I was like, I got to 25 kilos, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go a bit heavier, because you're doing 10 to 12 reps or something like that, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna go for like 6 or 8. Let me just see. And I'm getting to like 35s or 37s, and I was like, man, this feels good. And then honestly, his reaction got to me as well, you know, because he's like, sorry for swearing, he goes, fuck, you're a strong cunt. and I was like, yeah. And then stuff like that, I was like, you know what, I sort of am. Like, you know, it was sort of a realization thing.
Go me.
Yeah, and I was like,
Because it shocked me, because I've always been a lot larger than you. Because I just eat like a tank.
You do.
And always have. But
Now this is a question for both of you, because not a lot of people like myself. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that I can't or haven't put myself to that limit of lifting heavy weights. What has been what kick-started that journey for you? Obviously, you said it was the girls, but for you, what was it for you? Like, what was that kick that got you like, I want to lift more?
I think,
or what got you into a routine of wanting to train all the time?
the training, honestly, I actually had this thought like the other week, and it's just like, it's just a habit that I've never even clocked is like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I just train. It's not like a thing where I'm like, obviously, but the thing is with that, I can happily take days off without going, like, I'm not going to take weeks and weeks off sort of thing like that. That's when it hurts me. But like, I only train 4 days a week. Some people need more than that. Like, some people do it for their mental health for longer.
It's because you enjoy it. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. But it also comes to a point where it's like,
you enjoy the process of trying to increase the number on the barbells that you're lifting.
Yeah, but it's also the thing, just like the habit of just going, all right, Monday, because obviously I'm working in gyms, so I'm obviously bringing my stuff to train. So it just comes second nature. I'm going to go train. Done. Like, you know, I remember at Fitness First, it was like 1 o'clock, 1:30ish. That was like training time for PT. Like all the PTs were training at that time.
You're
so
in
then,
an environment where it's really easy to create that habit and stick to it.
yeah, 100%. So like it just sort of came naturally to me like that. And then now it's still a thing where I'm like, all right, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm like, all right, I got to train today. I got to train this week. Done. All right, Monday, I got to get my shit. I got to get my training stuff done. You know?
What advice would you give to someone that is struggling to get into a routine?
Don't do too much too soon. A lot of people, especially being in the industry, I have a lot of people that message me, funnily enough. It's like they want to...
They go balls to the walls.
Yeah, it's like they try to go from 0 to 100 straight away. I'm like,
You say that to me all the time.
What?
That I do too much.
Well, yeah, it's again, similar to that balancing. You can't do 100% of everything. So it's a perfect thing for like addiction, even like, well, most addictions anyway. It's just like, you can't go cold turkey, in my head anyway. Some people can, fair enough. But it's more like you just cut it out periodically. Like, you know, it's...
So your theory is, like an addiction, cutting it out periodically, it'll disappear. But for the training side of it, it's cutting it in.
Yeah, sorry, it's more adding it in. So for example, if you wanted to get into the gym, I would actually just go, okay, literally just go
once a week.
Most new people that see me, I'm gonna go, look, honestly, they go, oh, I'm like, in a realistic world, how often would you want to train? I go, oh, I want to train 5 days a week. If I can tell the new people, I'm going to say straight to them, like, you're not going to train 5 days a week.
It's not realistic.
I'd want you initially just to try to do 1 session or 2 sessions with me and then 1 on your own. So you get used to that routine of coming on your own and also with me. So I keep you accountable. And then with that, you then add a little bit. Like, it's, you know, you don't need 6 exercises for biceps when you're just starting out. So it's like you can literally get everything that you need to get done, like even a full body approach, you can get done in like 30, 40 minutes. Done.
I've got a question for you. What about people that have a time crunch? Because time is obviously
Look,
I know what you mean.
it's a thing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you give me slack for that one because I always try to get a time crunch for my gym sessions.
yeah, but that's just because you dilly dally. You just. Are you talking about when you were with me?
No, not with you, but like I can only manage 1 hour of training, and I feel like that is a realistic approach for a lot of people.
Well, then
But
you
I'm
just,
saying for
That
someone,
only have time
Yeah.
on their lunch break at work. They only have that 45 minutes of
yeah,
training.
but see, it's really not a thing like that. Then if you, in my head, it's like if you want it, you'll make time for it.
I'm saying for someone that does have the time, for instance, right? We've got clients ourselves that do have the time and they're able to do X, Y, Z. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. I'm saying for that person that comes to you, they're saying they're wanting to do 5 sessions a week, right? Time is of the essence. They've got a time crunch. They've got to do everything in 2 months. What would you recommend to a person like that?
If they get it, then funnily
So
enough,
that's going to be case dependent so much.
Exactly
because
right. That's
if
what I'm meaning.
Their goals are really specific. Like, for example...
It's a question for both of you, by the way.
Yeah. For example, if he's trying to get me to a powerlifting comp,
Yep.
and he's saying December is a date, so he's got to make sure that I'm achieving some sort of technique improvement, so I'm achieving goals at certain time frames. And for me to achieve that, I need to be putting in the time, the energy, and the effort in all of my sessions that I'm doing. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not respecting the fact that maybe some of my sessions might take more than an hour. It's going to take me longer. Then he'll say, maybe it won't be December, it'll be January or February or this or that, whatever it is. Whereas for someone else who might want to lose 10 kilos in 2 months, I would say to him, you can achieve that, but you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices to get to that. Are you willing to make those? If you're not, then maybe we should extend your timeline.
See, this is good. This is good dialogue for personal trainers that don't know how to approach a consultation, right? So that was the next thing that I was going to go into, and that's why I harped on the question to ask both of you that one, was because when PTs go into a consultation, some PTs that are fresh go in and say, "Hey, how are you doing? What are your goals? What do you want?
Hey, friend.
What do you want to achieve?"
it's
Okay, cool, basics. But then you start getting into the depth of it. And that's one thing that we always talk about whenever we have a moment.
Sales.
Not so much the sales side of
It is
things,
to
but
an extent, but
the neurological side of teaching people this is the path that you have to take. Are you willing to take it? Because we can provide it for you. You just broke it down then perfectly. Okay, cool.
It's understanding.
Exactly. But
Because we have the knowledge about it because we see it. We see it happen in all these people's lives and we've experienced it in our own journeys.
in our own
as well.
faculties, our own journeys,
it's our job to obviously get you to where you need to be, but most of the time, when like I said, like I was saying, it's case dependent. Like I had a girl a couple months ago come up to me, like I had a consult with her, and she's like, I want to lose weight for my wedding.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, how much do you want to lose? And she goes, I want to lose 20 kilos. And I was like, okay, when's the wedding? 8 weeks.
Bang,
And
realism.
I
hits.
I was real with her, and I said to her, why didn't you come to me months ago? Why this is not enough time? Because the thing is, you don't know first thing about training, you don't know the first thing about nutrition, and then funnily enough, she's like, oh, it's hard to fit you into my budget. Then like you're not gonna do it on your own, which is why you seek help. And it's also like you don't have enough time to get to the goal that you want. And then when they shoot that number into the conversation, like 20 kilos, 10 kilos, we then have to sort of flip it to then go, I want you to try to reimagine it so it's not a weight that you're after, it's a look. It's more as long as you feel
Body
happy.
composition.
That's a good way to look at
feel
it.
happy. Because then I say to them all the time, I was like, look, muscle weighs more than fat. So if we do everything right, you might not lose the 10 kilos on the scale, but you're gonna look a hell of a lot better doing that. And it's like you might only lose 5 kilos, but you look better.
Yeah.
And you go, I need you to try to understand that. If they don't understand it, if they go, oh, I'm not at 60 kilos because there's a number implanted in their brain, then there's not a lot people can really do unless it's a mindset shift. You know, like it's it's so much more of a mental thing that they have to try to rewire to then let the physical stuff of training and eating and nutrition and whatever it is to work.
I think that's the power of being a PT. You do have that ability to rewire their brain and put them into a thinking process of, okay, I've got to take my time with this. It can't be something that I
Well,
need
it's
to
not
rush.
really rewriting. It's just the fact that we know this stuff because we study it, we do it, we teach.
Yeah.
Right, and these people
The
just
teaching,
don't.
sorry.
Yeah, these people just don't know the world like we do because this is what we live and breathe.
Yeah,
in a way.
100%.
No, of course. It's we have the experience of past people in that same and how we conquered those problems to then relay it to those other people. You know, it's like you have something wrong with your car and then all of a sudden you go to a mechanic and they're going to go, yeah, you need to replace this ASAP or else your car's going to blow up.
We
Then
would
they
not
go,
know that.
yeah, exactly. We're not going to know that. We're just driving the car and then they go, if you came to me like a month later, the car's got to be like done.
Same
It's that
thing,
sort of thing.
timelines.
Exactly right. People that know that, they go, okay, I know this
Because in my head,
part
I
is
would be like, oh, but it says on the thing 1 month.
well, yeah, no, but it's like if the part is, if you don't know the part, I don't even know what that means. It has a timer on the part. I go, as 1 month. Or else in 1 month it will self-destruct.
Expiry date.
Yeah, give him another one, bro. He's on fire today too. Oh, Jesus.
That's good. Now, look, to summarize everything up, for someone that is getting into the PT industry, what are your 5 top tips for starting in the fitness industry?
Oh, gee. Okay. 5 top tips. Damn. Okay. Be there.
B square.
Be a square.
Be a square. What?
Be a shape.
You want NPC trainers? There are a lot of those.
They are, to be fair.
Number 1, be there.
So be there. So just spend time at the gym.
Yep.
Even if you don't have clients, just stay there. You know what it is. Even if
What
it's
if they
just
want to do outdoor PT?
that's PT. I'm assuming he's asking me as a gym personal trainer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I am.
So when he asks you for the thing for mobile, then you know.
So number 1, I just want him to roll out all 5
Okay.
back to back.
I'm trying to think of the 5.
there.
Be there. Brand yourself. Build a brand.
Yep.
Like it's just
Like an image.
yeah, like show your personality out there.
Yep.
You know, even if it's through social media, if it's just through again being at the gym, look the part for sure. Don't be a slob. Like make sure when you're at the gym you look good.
Like you can't be fat.
We're not fat shaming in 2024, but yeah, that. But it's also like make sure your hair looks good. I don't have much hair, but you know what I mean. Smell good, that sort of thing. It's they're gonna remember you for that.
Your presence is very important.
Exactly right.
Presentation.
People judge you in the first 5 to 7 seconds, even before you start talking.
It's true.
So your
If
presentation
you smell
is
like
your brand.
BO, they're not gonna want to talk to you because they go, yeah, you smell horror. Like like what?
I just did 7 hours of training, bro.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
number 4 was don't think you know it all because you really don't.
Dumbest person in the room.
What?
Be the dumbest person.
Yeah,
in the
no,
room.
essentially, yeah. Like you can't go in. Like obviously, we have experience in the field. We obviously knew more than we did 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and like we probably think that we know somewhat of.
You've learned
Training,
a lot
right?
from the people around you, though.
Exactly. Well, yeah, but it's
We know more than what we did 5 years ago.
of course, but you definitely don't know it all. Like I feel
no.
I'm at a point where I know quite a bit, but I know for a fact I definitely don't know everything.
Did you pick up experiences or knowledge through people or through doing it?
Both.
Yeah.
I think both is the perfect answer. You see trainers.
Or courses? That was the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah, well, courses obviously good to learn specific skills.
Gives
and
you a
stuff like
little
that,
edge?
but yeah, but it's more. I feel like for me personally, I like to watch. I'm more of an observant person.
Yep.
I can't like sit and study how to train with kettlebells or whatever. What
But if someone walked you through it face to face,
Yeah,
standing there,
it's
making
more
you
just
do
me.
it.
Demos.
It's more just me watching trainers in action, going like, I remember there was a trainer at Fitness First. I was just watching him go, I can see what he does and stuff like that, and I'm like, I pick it up. I'm like, okay, that sort of thing. You sort of pick that sort of stuff up, and you learn to adapt your style. You you can't always be this. I feel like you can't be the same trainer
All the
for
time.
client A or client B, because if client A is introverted or client B is someone completely different, you can't be the same trainer because then you just have to have different
very true.
conversations.
That's very true.
Yeah, me
So-
and we talk about that all the time. That PTs are good at being chameleons. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're
No,
fake
it's true.
people or anything, but it's really important that we're able to mold our personalities, but not be different people.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Not be different people is probably the key in that. But be able to mold our personalities to suit that interaction or suit that person. Because if we're too loud and obnoxious to someone that doesn't have that same energy level, it's going to be too obnoxious to them.
No, of
Whereas
course.
if we come into a session really sluggish and
Exactly right.
reserved to someone that's really bubbly and loud, they're also going to get thrown off.
Yeah. You notice it through different people, obviously. Like if you're
Mirroring.
training, yeah, exactly. Like if you go in guns blazing, or you notice in the consultation they're just extremely quiet, sort of thing, right? You're not gonna you just can't really. Anyway, oh sorry, you threw me off there. Anyway, if you're dealing with someone quiet, you're not gonna go guns blazing, because it's just then they're gonna get so overwhelmed by you. And if you can tell they're quiet, you sort of just try to pick at what interests they have. So it's like, for a perfect example is I train someone, and it's like you try to find stuff like, what do you do for work? And then if they get passionate about talking about their work, you talk more about their work. If they talk about, I like to watch anime. All right, talk to me. What's your anime?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know shit
But
about
actually
anime.
expressing interest in
Yeah,
what they
exactly.
want.
It's just trying to find something to then build on the report, and then they go, okay, yeah, he's a good to talk to, sort of thing. And then you can sort of then use that to branch out into other topics. But then there are some rare cases where they just don't talk at all, and that's when 30 minutes or 45 minutes feels like 5 hours.
Oh god, I hate those
Yeah.
ones. But I can talk so much. I can talk to a brick wall, so I've been able
true.
to handle those in a weird way. But anyway, so I feel like we really skipped over this when we were talking about it earlier. But you're coaching me to my first powerlifting comp, and I feel like this is going to be a big one. I wouldn't mind spending a whole podcast on this, but what would you say has been? Because obviously this is very new to you, actually starting your coaching journey as a powerlifter, because you've been powerlifting for a bit now. In your own journey, but you've only started your actual coaching path recently, obviously with me and one other client. But how has that gone, and how's that transition been?
You know what? It was a thing similar to my training. I got a little bit bored training that way, and also I got bored training clients that way. Like, so then obviously I was doing powerlifting myself, and then I did competitions, and I was like, this is who I am as a when I train myself, so why not try to turn people into that? And then I was just trying to find not worthy, that sounds mental.
Why am I worthy?
Not worthy. Nah, but it's more just trying to find people that are willing to, that are looking for that. Like some people just want purely aesthetic goals, they don't like the gym, they just want to look better, fair enough. But then there's some people that actually enjoy it, like you and my other client that is doing it. She has been training with me for ages, and she's like, and then I started talking about that stuff to her, and she's become obsessed with it now. And it's all all she gets on her Instagram feed. It's just powerlifting, and I love that so much, because then it's like she's not really too fussed with the aesthetic portion of training. She's just she feels better mentally when she lifts heavy, and that's what a lot of people tend to miss out on, I feel, because it's like aesthetics is very
Short-lived.
it's short-lived, but it's also like it changes a lot, because then as soon as you think you look skinny, or in guys' standards you think you look big, you then see someone on Instagram who's 18, 19, has got genetics like a freak, and then you're like, shit, I want to be, and it's like, shit, I'm not big enough. You're always chasing that, whereas the weightlifting is like you're chasing something, but the weight is
not external.
Exactly, it doesn't change. It's like the weight is, say you want to lift 200 kilos on a deadlift or whatever.
20 kilo plate stays a 20 kilo plate.
Exactly, that 200 kilos will get there. It's not gonna then, but then your goals are saying, okay, I want to lift 250. Fair enough, you always want to lift more, but it's different to then going, I want to look bigger, I want to look like him, I want to look like The Rock, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Because that's external, whereas powerlifting is more internal.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting against yourself rather than fighting against some other person where you don't
100%.
have control over that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, look, with that, it comes a lot of, it's a lot of humbling experiences training. I'm sure you, especially you, Brendon, after that last block that I gave you, is very humbling.
I was very humbled.
Yeah. So it's, you sort of, for those people that are in the bodybuilding sphere and don't know much about powerlifting, it's essentially take back everything you think you know about training, and then you learn that way. It's completely different. It really is.
He killed my ego
Like it's
in one session.
like, look, the basics are somewhat there, but then there's so much intricacies that you need to master. You need to learn. Like you need to learn how to lock your lats in. Like so much more. The bracing is by far one of the biggest, most underrated thing. Bracing is like it's so key.
It's actually crazy though, because I have been lifting since 2015, And this is 2024 right now, so that's a whole 9 years, right? 9 years of training. And in that 9 year span, I feel like I've mastered the squat, mastered the deadlift, mastered the bench because I've been doing it for that lengthy period of time. And my numbers were pretty good. I was still benching 130 kilos. I was squatting 150.
Yeah.
My deadlift wasn't that great, but you know, I was deadlifting.
Yeah.
And then when I came into the gym and started getting coached by you, my weights on all those 3 lifts went down except for the deadlift, which I was shocked by. But my squat went down, my bench went down, which is the 2 lifts I was focused so heavily on. And you've taught me that it's not about the number on the number of the weight that you're lifting. It's more about the technique, the form. 100%. And once you do master those forms and techniques, I'll be able to lift a lot heavier than I used to.
Yeah, like I was having a conversation, funnily enough, with Jono last night about it. He asked me about it, and it was like, he goes, "How's training and stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, look, it's a lot of, not necessarily not the word I'm looking for. It's not shit times, but it's like it's just humbling and it's a little bit low key. But then at the end of the block, you then improve. It's literally like a high dip, but then you got to start really low. Like it's not bodybuilding where you go, all right, last week I did 80 kilos on the bench press. This week I'm going to do 85, and then I'm going to keep going up and up and up and up. No, you cut the block off. Say your goal is 100 kilo bench. I'm only literally going to start you on 60 or 65 kilos. Get you used to it. See what we can learn and change with the technique. Because when it's light enough, that's when we can make the most technique changes. I'm not going to. There's no possible way you're going to be able to learn, adapt to all the technique changes when it's at your close to your max. Because you're too busy trying to focus on lifting the weight. You can't learn the different technique. So again, you're starting at 65, even 70, whatever it is, right? So then if you know your max is 100, from 70 after 8 weeks, you maybe get to like a 110 or 115. So it's all that. You then go for like 8 or 10 weeks of a block to then only go up by 10 kilos in a bench. But then guess what? After that block, you then got to start back, and then you got to go maybe to 75, 80, or you do something, a variation of a bench press or one of the 3 lifts. You then go back to like 80, and then you go back to maybe, and then you build back up to then hopefully go back to like 120 or something. Yeah, 100%. So it's a lot of, it's really, it's a different mentality to train. Because like bodybuilding, I remember even like when I was doing, I feel like not claim to fame, but like my favorite thing was, and posting that was my dumbbell bench. Because I just did it every week, so I got good at it and I got strong at it.
60 kilos.
You guys had your little battle with it.
Oh, we did.
It was, I mean, look, to the audience,
Run to 60 kilos.
It wasn't really a battle. I mean, let's be honest. Like, you know, he tried to call me out, but then I humbled him very quickly. So, like, you know, he starts to go.
We won't get into that.
Yeah. No. Let's get into it. No, but
roast him.
Yeah. So no, look. I mean, so with that, got me a lot of traction in terms of like people going, like, that's insane. Like, you know, I was even the max dumbbells that I had at mine was 50 kilos. I'd actually literally grab booty bands and I'd strap plates to the dumbbells to make them heavier.
Go follow him on Instagram. It's Abreu Fit. You'll see all the powerlifting and stuff that he does, and that was one of the videos where just all of us went,
yeah,
oh my god.
So I sort of forgot. I sort of forgot where I was going with that when I was talking about that. What were we talking about?
You're talking about how you just killed me in that.
Yeah, you were just roasting. Brendon.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, because then I was I remember what I was talking about.
I might as well just throw it back in. Why not?
No, because I was talking about how like every weekend bodybuilding, like for example, I do 50s and then I go to 52s and 55s. I wouldn't take a break. At all.
It's a progression.
Yeah, but then with that, you sort of just at that point you sort of know the technique of that. But because these lifts are so advanced and there's so much stuff you can learn.
There's so much more going on.
Like if you're doing a normal in the bodybuilding version of a squat, whereas like, you know, just training and you learn by yourself on how to squat, you won't even really clock that, like, just because if one foot's turned a bit more outwards compared to the other, it's going to mess with your hip rotation or your alignment with your hips. And then it's just all about being inefficient with that. There's energy leakage. With powerlifting, you want to be as efficient as possible. So it's like you want to, if it means that's why a lot of people there's a lot of stick with the powerlifting community with the arch of the bench. People exaggerate the arch, you know, when they have the chest out all the way. It's probably even actually safer than having no arch. But it's also
There is research studies that actually say that.
it really is. It's one thing for me. I've noticed so much. It's like it feels a little bit weird when you first do it, but then you just feel so much better. I always say it to people. It's like you take 3 steps back to go 8 steps forward with that sort of thing. Like you sort of unlearn, but then you learn way. You just push it way more.
Why'd you choose 3 steps and 8 steps?
I don't know. I always say 3 steps because then I feel like if I said 1 step back and 3 steps forward, it's not that big. If I say 3 steps back and 5 steps forward, it's like still not that many steps forward.
It's like when you're about to take a free kick. You take 3. Do you take 1 step back or
Brendon
3?
taking free kicks, bro. He's
A
horror.
free kick. Why would you be stepping back for a free kick?
To the audience watching, Brendon's got no
Huh?
techs. He's got no techers.
What do you? Whoa. Why would you be stepping back for a free kick?
Yeah.
A penalty? You don't step back.
Nah, he's like Ronaldinho, bro. Takes 1 step back or something.
You just toe punt it, standing next to the ball. Right.
There's a reason why he doesn't take free kicks for us.
Have you ever seen me take a free kick?
And just an audience.
They're
just,
mesmerised.
Audience, just so you know, Brendon, can you just tell the camera how many goals you've scored this season?
Donut.
There you go. So that's why. Brendon's sex, horrible, man. Horror. I don't know. But no, we're taking the piss. But, you know, goal scoring is just not his forte at the minute.
Yeah,
we're trying to adapt him into the next Harry Kane or something. But, you know, anyway.
You know what? One day.
Yeah.
So this whole journey of now being Brendon's coach and putting him into the powerlifting genre.
Am I your favourite client?
Are we cutting? Are we just cutting? Am I answering Rhea? Am I going to answer? Yeah, do it again.
Well done, Brendon. Cutting Rhea off once again. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's
Everyone-
back.
Yeah, but it ties into your question.
It does.
Everyone do a shot for shot with whey protein powder, and just like we do a protein shot every single time Brendon cuts Rhea off. You'll be jacked.
Oh my God.
You get 300 grams of protein.
I think I'll run to the I'll run to the bathroom in between.
It's tied into the same question. Say the question again.
So since what was
Since
it?
training me.
Since training with Brendon, and then you chime in. Go. It's your turn. Am I your favorite client?
Am I your favourite
But I
client?
want to know what Rhea's question was because I don't want to break your heart.
Okay.
Since training with someone like Brendon, who is obviously your long-term friend and you've known him for ages, does it give you a little bit more confidence going into the next client and the next client and the next client, knowing that someone as adherent as your friend is following your program?
Well, in order for me to answer that, I actually have to put him on the gronk a little bit because when
I'm not adherent.
for the first time that we started working together, he did not follow it, and then he'd go, "Oh, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that." Like I'd get him to.
But
do
it's only
his
been the
things.
past 2 weeks that he's actually been following it. So
No,
since
look, he's done well for the past
Yep.
5-6 weeks maybe.
Okay.
But like the first 8-week block that we did together, it was
It's
just
tough.
It's like I might as well not have even had a client. Like it's just I give
I
him.
made my own program.
I gave him the program. I'd give him he'd do the big lifts, and then I'd go, okay, let's go. I'm giving you some accessories that you have to do, and he goes, can I do some mobility stuff instead? And I'm just like, you know what, bro? Like, and then he'd do it anyway. I'm like, look, if you do that, look, fair enough. You want to do your mobility stuff for your content and X and Y, whatever. But just try to do some of it.
Yeah.
Bro did none. Bro
Yeah.
did absolutely none.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't
yeah.
even chucked on the app.
But then again, I think it was the humbling experience of you.
Being knocked back.
Yeah, it was also that, and it was
The
also
3 steps.
I'm gonna be a bit not really uncensored, but it's just also like I actually started charging Brendon for PT. So I did it.
Yes,
I think that's what it
yes.
was because like I was giving it to him for free. So when you get something for free, it's like
You don't actually put effort into it.
It
Yeah.
devalues the thing. So then we
And it's
started.
not about the financial outlook. It's more the
Not at
fact
all,
that it's more the fact that if I'm paying money for something, you want to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You
Or
don't
you're
want to be
putting that
spending aimless money.
for no reason.
no
So,
reason.
Yeah.
Well, it's that, but it's also you know what
you
it
put
was.
more respect on it as well.
It actually was more of the thing of we did that first block, and because he changed his whole thing, I was just so unmotivated to make him another one. Do you remember? It took like 2 or 3 weeks to
2 or
make
3
it,
weeks, yeah.
him another program because I was just like, he's not even going to do it
And I
anyway.
was sitting there like, where's my program?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, and
Every
he's like,
boys' night. He's
he's
like,
like,
hey, H, what's
I'm
my
gonna
program?
pay you. I'm gonna pay you for the program. I'm like, all right. And he just started charging, sending
Paying
money to
for
me, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll make him a program because then he became a paying client. So I was like, you know what? All right, in that case,
I better make him a program now.
100%. But it's
And this time I followed it.
100%. See, look at the difference instantly.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's not to say that free stuff isn't always good, but you know, it sort of devalues a lot of things.
I feel like especially when it comes to a service, you're not going to get quality if it's free.
100%. You can't.
And you pay for what you get.
Exactly. Well, what do you expect to happen? Like you're paying $40 a week for a program versus, or you say you're paying an online trainer $30 a week versus $80 a week, the $80 a week person is more than likely taking less people but working harder on those people. So then it's better quality of service, you know. If you're just there, if you just want a program that's just like just to fuck around, like, you know, I just want something. I don't want to think when I'm at the gym. Program done, easy.
Yeah.
Then you're happy to pay that amount.
Yeah.
But it's the same. Honestly, it's the same with gym memberships. You know, like it's if people are paying such low amounts for gyms,
Expect shit quality when it comes to your gym.
exactly. It's
Expect
that
it to be packed all the time. Expect the equipment to be lower grade. And yeah, if
it's
you're
that,
okay with that.
but it's
then
also
fine.
then the quality of the members there are low. They don't really give a crap about the equipment there because they're paying, even though they don't actively try to sabotage stuff. But it's like,
If you're
you
only
know,
paying like $5 a week for
Yeah,
your
$5,
gym,
$10
you're not
a
gonna
week,
really
whatever,
care
like,
about the
you-
equipment you're using.
perfect example to anybody listening. Go to just check out a $10, $15 a week gym, like your Plus Fitnesses, your Anytimes, whatever, and then go to your higher end $30, $40 a week gyms or something, or even like 25, 30, whatever.
Some even close to 80 now.
Well, there you go. Even then, we know which one we're talking about. We won't give them any spotlight there. But even them, right? They won't. You notice the difference. You know, you feel
You walk in, you actually feel like you're in a quality
exactly right,
environment.
100%. So you know, it's just money. Value is everything. Like it's just you have something that's low value, you gotta have low value people. Unfortunately, low value people purchasing it. If you
Yeah,
want
but
to
then
work
you're
with,
also gonna feel like that when you walk into those environments too.
yeah, 100%. Like, look, a bit more of a blunt thing as well. Like, you know, you increase your prices, sort of thing, as a trainer, which, again, people watching trainers should be doing. Should be doing quite frequently. It's not you can't. There's obviously a limit. Like, you're not going to go.
You have to
Alice-
know what you're worth.
Exactly, supply and demand sort of thing. But like if you're keeping your loyal clients on for $50 a session, and then but then your actual real prices is 90. Let's just say random numbers. The 90 client is of course going to be worth more of your time, but you're going to spend more effort on that person. Not to disrespect the $50 person.
Yep.
But it's just like, you know, if you go, even if people have to wake up early, if you find out that the first person you're waking up to is $50 a week, you go, "Ugh." But then if you go, oh no, this is big. I need this. This is a big client. I need to go there. You're instantly going to want to come and train them.
Actually, go put in the effort
Yeah.
and the energy and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's nothing. It's not a personal thing at all. It's not like to that person, like, oh, I don't like you, sort of thing. It's literally just a business thing. You know?
Yeah.
It's anything. Like if someone said to you, oh, I want you to help me, some random person, like maybe a low end, like not a close friend, said, I want you to help me move my couch or something like that. I'm not going to pay you. Versus someone saying, look, I'll pay like $50 or $100, whatever, just to help me move my couch. You're instantly going to be more inclined to do it when there's a financial incentive there.
100%.
So value is everything, you know.
100%.
So, but anyway, I feel like I've just gone on a massive rant again.
That's what this podcast is about. This whole podcast that we've both created is literally
about-
there for you to vent.
Evolutionizing the industry.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're both PTs. Well, we're all PTs, and the main preface of this whole podcast was just to literally get an idea of what another personal trainer has gone through with little.
In a bit of a different space in the
Yeah,
industry.
different
'cause
space.
Obviously, we're the outdoor PTs, kings of the industry. Not gonna lie. And then Brew Fit.
I agree. I completely agree.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man. By the way, guys, we didn't pay him to say that.
I'm in no way affiliated with Dynamic Recap.
Wait till he gets the beam.
So,
But back to those top five. So be there, look the part, and be the part.
yeah. Upskill.
Listen.
Upskill. Listen.
listen.
Sorry. Upskilling, and I don't even know if I really said the last one.
The last one I think was what we spoke about this whole time was
Yeah.
just be real and
Yeah.
be an honest trainer, because that's
Yeah, I think Ray said be real like at least 30 times in his podcast.
Yeah. Listen, it's also a thing
be
of
real. 31.
I'm gonna replace that fifth one. It's gonna be finding a niche. It's
Okay.
you know what? I was such a non-believer on that. It's not a thing like for me. The whole niche thing. It's also a bit. I feel like it's a bit over
Glamorized.
Yeah, it's like I only train women between 30 and 40. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, so you're telling me if a woman that's 28 came up to you, you're not going to train them? Bullshit. Let's be honest, you know. Like, I train, you know, fair enough, you specialize in that, but like, it's just also
So you're
trying
not
to.
going to help people outside of that range.
Yeah, it's more of a niche in terms of your training style. It's not a thing of client niche in my head. It's more just like I train people. Like, literally, my thing is getting people skinny but strong.
I think you come to learn that as you develop your niche. You come
I
to
feel like
learn
that
what-
happens over time.
Oh, yeah, it's
When
definitely
when you're at early stages of PT journey, I would still say we are pretty early in our stages. 5 years isn't that long time, but I would still say that when you start out, you have to get your stripes.
Yeah,
It's basically like
100%.
martial
Like
arts. You get
jiu-jitsu.
your white belt. You have to do the grunty work, especially in the first few years, until you eventually get that stripe or get that new belt where you can actually say, okay, I've got experience doing
Learn
all
to-
this type of training. I've trained X, Y, Z amount of people.
Yeah.
Now I actually enjoy this aspect of training more. I actually enjoy this type of nutrition more, whatever it is. Then you might actually end up, and this is what I've done with all my clients, end up pushing them on the journey yourself.
yeah, no, 100%.
Obviously within reason. I'm
Yeah.
not going to force them into just doing stuff that I want.
He's-
do a marathon.
No,
You're all
he's
doing
literally,
marathons now.
he'll start going with his clients. He'll start rolling with them on the floor. I do jiu-jitsu, so you're gonna do jiu-jitsu as well.
You're doing it with me, all right?
He's your first exercise. Get out of a triangle choke.
This has been a really good podcast. Actually, I have enjoyed the setting of it being the trainer.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
It
Crazy.
has been a good podcast.
Now, you know what? I actually can't believe it's already been an hour.
I know
It's fucking flown.
we've been talking for a full hour, and it's honestly we could probably have another conversation for another 30 minutes to
But you know
another
what?
hour.
I feel like that means we should have another podcast with him.
I definitely want another
I
podcast.
would be happy to come back. For
And
sure.
we will-
round 2.
We'll sit down and we'll pre-plan it. I feel like this one was just to sort of preface who he is, and I'd honestly love to have you on again and just talk and just be a little bit more.
Well, we'll ask
in
all
depth.
2 of our subscribers what they think.
Yeah, we'll ask all
Yeah,
two of them.
crazy.
But Adrian, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much, guys.
It's been a
Good to
pleasure.
see you, man.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Dynamic Recall podcast.
No.
Oh, no, the Evolv podcast.
That's the
oh,
one.
shit.
And follow and like Dynamic Recall.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Come on.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. We're out.
Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Evolv podcast with Brendon and Rianon.
Make sure that you stay tuned for next week's episode. We're going to be dropping one every week. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And for now, the Evolv podcast. We'll see you soon.
And we're out.
Ciao.